Funding for Liam Faulkner is provided by Squarespace, the sponsor of today's video. From websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your business. Hello all, Liam here, and if you couldn't tell, I like Green Day. In fact, I really like Green Day. Green Day is my favourite band of all time, and I'm sure I don't need to explain that considering I've made many videos based off the band. But this video is different. For one, it's long. Well, I expect it to be long considering I haven't made it yet, but by this point I have made it and you're watching it, so you can tell me in the comments if it's long or not. Secondly, this is an idea I've already attempted before. If you've been watching my shorts, I've been doing a series called Every Green Day Studio Album Ranked, and as the name suggests, it's a series where I look through each of Green Day's 14 studio albums and rank each song off of them from worst to best. I will essentially be doing that again here, only I will not be ranking each song off of each album. That would be a nightmare. Instead, I'm going to rank the albums as a whole, whether I like them or not, and whether I'd say they made an impact on Green Day's discography. Also, this video is heavily inspired by Schaefer Ellis Productions, so go watch his videos if you want to get some of the references here. Anyway, before we begin, I need to explain what I'm going to be ranking here. Unlike the short series where I was only ranking the main studio albums with shenanigans thrown as a bonus, this time I'll be doing everything. All 14 studio albums, all 3 studio EPs. And that's it. No Demolicious considering I'll already be ranking the trilogy anyway, and no live albums for the same reason. Plus it's just kinda dumb doing that. Same goes for compilations, there's no need to rank the compilations considering I'm already ranking all the songs on them anyway. If you're wondering what I think of Jar, or Pop Rocks and Coke, or Back in the USA, I'll save that for its own video. Anyway, with all that being said, let's get started.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Father of All Motherfuckers is the most miserable experience I've ever had with a music album. Okay, I wouldn't go that far considering Be Here Now and Saint Anger exist, but come on guys, it's Father of All! What else is there to be said about Father of All that hasn't already been echoed a million times? Nothing! I have nothing to say about this album except that it is genuinely one of the worst things I've ever listened to. And I do not say that lightly. This is absolute trash in every sense of the word. Plus it's pitifully short at just 26 minutes across 10 tracks. 10 tracks! But while that might sound bad, the extremely short runtime is actually a blessing in disguise, as that means you can spend as little time listening to this absolute travesty as possible. It honestly feels like Green Day weren't even trying to make a good product here, because while albums like Dose are bad, you can definitely see that they were trying to some extent. This, on the other hand? No. I refuse to believe that Green Day were attempting to make a good album with this. It is impossible. And what makes this whole thing even funnier is that Green Day themselves have pretty much forgotten that the album exists. I mean, they barely played it live and have since never acknowledged it in any capacity post 2020. That just proves that not even Green Day themselves care about this album. I was seriously considering a 0 out of 10 for this album, but then I remembered that Sugar Youth exists and is actually a pretty good song. So that means I have to give this a 1 out of 10 instead of a 0 out of 10. Wow! What a fucking amazing accomplishment! And yeah, if you like this album unironically, that's okay. Don't feel like a complete moron just because some dude on the internet called something you like garbage. I know how that feels. But come on dude, if you genuinely believe that this is Green Day's magnum opus, their best work ever, then you are wrong. Flat out. I will not defend that. This album sucks, don't listen to it. Dose is mediocre and forgettable and I can't stand it. I know a small minority of people in the Green Day community like to call this album an underrated masterpiece, good for them, but I just don't get it. Dose was the second album of the Uno Dos Tres trilogy Green Day were doing throughout 2012. We'll get to those other 2 albums soon enough, but I just want to talk about how much I genuinely dislike this album. Dose is what happens when Green Day tries to do Foxborough Hot Tubs and shitty mid-2000s garage rock mixed with mindless sex-driven lyrics and somehow made a 13-track album out of it, and it went about as well as you'd expect. And yes, I do not hate this album. I do dislike it a lot, but I don't hate it. Sure, it's bad, but it's not the worst thing ever, as I actually do like quite a few songs off of it. Stop when the Red Lights Flash, Lazy Bones and Straight Heart are all really good, and I love them unironically, but the rest, couldn't give a fuck. This album also brought us, in my opinion, the worst Green Day song of all time, Nightlife. Nightlife is absolutely abysmal and brings this album down just by existing. This is also the same album that brought us songs like Makeout Party, Wow That's Loud, and Fuck Time. Yes, these grown fucking men decided to call a song Fuck Time. And it sounds about as stupid as the title, if not more stupid.
Oh baby, baby, it's fuck time. You know I really wanna make you mine. Oh baby, baby, it's fuck time. There's nothing left to say.
And the rest of the album, forget about it. You're not missing anything. Wild One, Baby Eyes, Lady Cobra, Ashley.
Who the hell cares?
But one aspect of this album that I can actually get a kick out of is that you can tell they were trying with it. There is actual effort put into a few of the songs here, and it even has a cute little prelude at the start. That's quite rare with Green Day. Overall, Dose is definitely a terrible album for sure, one I wouldn't listen to unless I really wanted to, but not entirely the worst thing ever.
Freaking sweet.
Well, here we are, the worst Green Day EP. We're on to the not bad, just lame and forgettable part of the ranking, featuring albums that I don't really have any strong feelings about. They just kinda exist and do their own thing that they're good at. And this album is the definition of not terrible, but forgettable. There is nothing to talk about here except for the fact that it's just a Green Day EP. I mean, when most people think of Green Day EPs, people think of Slappy and 1000 Hours. Literally nobody remembers the Sweet Children EP. What is there even to talk about? Nothing. Moving on.
Who wants to start a revolution?
Oh boy, this is gonna get me a few death threats. Look, I'm sorry, but Revolution Radio is supremely boring. This is probably my most controversial take of this entire video, full of controversial takes, but I'm serious. Revolution Radio is Green Day's most bland, nothing album ever. Now, I don't hate Rev Rad. It's mediocre, but not terrible. I do like a few songs from it. Bang Bang, the title track, Say Goodbye, Still Breathing, and Forever Now are all really good. But the rest is either just bland, boring, or incredibly mediocre. Revolution Radio is not a bad album by any means. I somewhat enjoyed my time with it, but I'm not really feeling the urge to listen to it again anytime soon. And if you like it, I get it. I can see why someone would love this album or even say it's their favourite Green Day album. But for me, it's just very boring. Also, Forever Now should have been the closing track and Ordinary World has no reason to exist, cry about it.
What the fuck does OK stand for?
Trey was the third and final album of the trilogy, and is probably Green Day's most boring record to date. I was genuinely feeling drowsy by the time I reached the end of this, but it isn't all bad. I actually enjoyed quite a few songs. Brutal Love, Missing You, 8th Avenue Serenade, X-Kid, A Little Boy Named Train, Dirty Rotten Bastards, and 99 Revolutions are all mildly enjoyable, with the final two being some of the trilogy's best hits. But the rest? Fuck 'em. You're not missing anything. Drama Queen, Sex, Drugs and Violence, Amanda, who cares? They all suck. I have nothing more to say about Trey. It's just bland, uninteresting, inoffensive white noise for 45 minutes. Let's move on.
You saved their lives!
Saviors is Green Day's newest album at this time, releasing in January 2024, and it is just as, if not more forgettable and boring than most of the trilogy. Now, I do like a few songs from Saviors. The American Dream is Killing Me, Look Man No Brains, Bobby Socks, One-Eyed Bastard, Dilemma, Coma City, and Corvette Summer are all good, great, or amazing. But the other tracks of the album are all very bland, generic rock songs, mostly in the second half. The first half of Saviors feels a little jarring with how many good songs there are, and how the second half is mostly full of mediocre crap that nobody likes. I do think a bit of distribution between the songs would definitely help this album a lot, considering you would have a good song, a bad song, a good song, a bad song, etc. But of course, that's not what they did. This is Green Day we're talking about, and Green Day are never reasonable. In my opinion, Saviors is good. Just not good enough to the point where I feel like saying it's worth your time unless you really want to. This ranking could very easily change, as it really depends on the day whether I say Trey is better than Saviors or Rev Rad. But for now, Saviors is the best modern Green Day album. Well done. Also, The American Dream is Killing Me uses the word pedophile in its lyrics. Big whoop.
Aw, man, I'm all about shenanigans!
I might as well throw Shenanigans in here too, because why not? Shenanigans was Green Day's B-Sides and Rarities compilation released in 2002, and well, Green Day weren't exactly an oasis when it came to B-Sides. This is probably the most generic sounding Green Day album ever. There's just nothing to hook you or get your attention. Now, this album isn't bad, it does have its high points, just like the rest. Like, I actually genuinely think that the Green Day cover of Outsider is better than the original Ramones version. Same goes for Tired of Waiting for You. But really, I don't really have much more to say. Shenanigans is just a very solid compilation album that, I don't know, I just want to go to bed.
The one that started the whole thing!
Well, Green Day's opening EP is certainly something. And believe it or not, it's actually pretty good. Like, no joke, this is actually a really good EP that I genuinely enjoy a lot. This is a 4-track EP released in 1989, and it does have some bangers, I'll tell you that. 1000 Hours, Only of You, and Dry Ice are all great, and I like them a lot. But the one I want is kinda mid, so it brings the album down a little. But even then, I love this EP, and I strongly recommend checking it out as soon as you can.
Did you just slap me?
Yes, I did, and you deserved it.
And this is much of the same, except it's just a tiny little bit better, so it ranks slightly higher. I don't have much to say about Slappy, aside from the fact that I don't really like the Knowledge cover all that much. Operation Ivy's version's better. Also, Why Do You Want Him is the most underrated Green Day song of all time. Fight me.
Uno Lapo. Don't need any help.
Uno was the first album of the trilogy, and I unironically enjoy this one a lot. I will defend this album with my life, I think it's a great time. Now, I will say this isn't the best thing ever, and I do understand why someone would dislike this album. It's totally justified, and I'm not gonna argue. I get why you'd say this album sucks. Nuclear Family is unironically one of the best Green Day songs of all time, and I mean that completely seriously. What is it about? No idea, but I fucking adore it so much. And the rest of the album isn't too bad either. The only song I really dislike from this album is Oh Love. It just drags on way too long, and is such a tonal whiplash going from rapid fire 3-minute songs to this 5-minute long slog of a closer. In fact, I'm not even going to talk about the album anymore, as it will just interfere with you experiencing it yourself. Go listen to it, or I'll come to your house and kill you.
The name is Smooth Move. I set the tone around here, you dig?
Green Day's first studio album is actually really good. Every song on here is pretty good. Plus, this album also has Going to Pasalacqua and Road to Acceptance, two of Green Day's best songs, period. Plus, this whole album is just full of the same punchy, witty charm that Green Day's best albums are known for. And I'd even go on to say that there isn't a single bad song on this album. It's really solid. And that's basically all I have to say about 39 Smooth. It's a great debut and perfectly sets up the band's future albums and goals. That's all.
Rule number 1. Know your enemy.
21st Century Breakdown is basically Diet American Idiot. It's American Idiot, but way more bloated and dragged out, and it somehow works. I'm not calling Green Day an emo band here, but this feels like an MCR album. It has the flow and the sound and the energy of the Black Parade or Three Cheers. It's theatrical, grand, and overly polished sounding. I'd say the story here is a lot more well developed considering that this album has 18 tracks for its story instead of 13 tracks like American Idiot. If you want a better analysis on why 21st Century Breakdown is as good as it is, watch the video changing the subject made. It's a great watch.
Making a bed where the marbles go.
Kerplunk is incredible, no doubt about that. This is basically everything that I want out of an old Green Day album. And when I say old, I'm specifically talking about the early 90s stuff. Dookie is when I'd say classic Green Day starts. Anyway, I could pretty much go on forever about just how amazing this album is. It's thriving, it's unique, it's interesting, it's immaculate. And believe it or not, it's only the 6th best Green Day album to me. So let's waste no time and get to the top 5. Also, this album came out in 1991 and not 1992. Why does everyone say that? It drives me up the fucking wall.
Got a head of fiery hair and a turbocharged backpack.
Well, American Idiot. What many consider to be Green Day's magnum opus, one of the greatest albums of all time, redefining rock music in the mid-2000s and being one of the most revered albums of its era, and it's only the 5th best. Don't get me wrong, I love American Idiot. I will go on record and say that this is undeniably one of the best albums by the band. Maybe even one of the best albums of the 2000s period. But I just like the 90s stuff more. I'm biased towards those albums. They were what got me into the band to begin with, and for that, I've ranked them higher, but I still adore this album and everything it stands for. Every track slaps, the lyrics are deep and meaningful, it has soul, it has it all.
Say the line, Bart.
Warning is underrated. Oh yeah, Warning is so underrated, guys. Do you know that? Warning is so great and so underrated. It's Green Day's most underrated album by far. Did you know this album is underrated? Really good, but underrated. Okay, to be completely serious for a moment, this album is pretty underrated. I know that's basically a cliche at this point, and it is, but I don't give a shit. I love this album and I will forever hold it as one of the best albums by Green Day. Warning, Church on Sunday, Fashion Victim, Castaway, Misery, Deadbeat Holiday, Hold On, Waiting, Minority, Macy's Day Parade. Just banger after banger after banger. This album is impeccable and I adore it with all my heart. I don't care how dead the meme is. Warning is underrated.
I have crippling depression.
This used to be my favourite Green Day album for quite a while, but it has since slipped a little. But I still fucking adore it. But I do feel like I have been praising this album maybe just a little too much. Insomniac is the Pinkerton or in utero of Green Day's discography. It's It's much darker and more personal with its lyrics. The production is rougher and more grungy. The guitars are more distorted and the vocals feel angrier and more annoyed. Well, it worked. This is by far Green Day's most personal album to date, featuring songs about drug abuse, self-loathing, and getting kicked out of a club by people who double-crossed you. And while this album doesn't exactly leave you with a whole lot to take back, it is only 32 minutes after all. Its brief impact is enjoyable enough to land at a spot in the top 5. Also, shout out to Westbound Sign for genuinely being one of the best Green Day songs of all time. No joke.
I got another job that even a Nimrod.
Nimrod is Green Day's 5th album, and by far their most experimental. This album tries to do so much and yet somehow makes it all work. We have pop punk, ska, acoustic, strings, hardcore, and even instrumental surf rock, and yet somehow this album is cohesive and maybe one of the best albums of the 90s, period. Every single track here offers something different and great. Nice Guys Finished Last is a brilliant pop punk song that sets up the album ahead while bringing up older fans who might not like the new direction, and then Hitching the Ride starts and we're on to Strings. Strings! In a Green Day song! And then of course soon enough you reach Platypus, a blazingly quick hardcore punk rock song targeted at some anonymous person out there. And of course that leads you right into Last Ride In, a surf rock instrumental track that's actually pretty catchy and has some of the best lyrics I've ever heard. I really felt it when Billy said, absolutely poetic. Then of course you reach King for a Day, a ska ballad about a boy who learns that he likes cross-dressing. And then finally we have Good Riddance Time of Your Life, possibly Green Day's biggest hit to date. It's sentimental, played entirely in acoustic, and even has an orchestra as backing instruments. Nimrod is an immaculate experience that I think everyone should have soon. But this album is only a 9 out of 10. There is still one album that stands above it. Yep, you knew this was going to be here. What is there to say about Dookie that hasn't already been said a billion times? Dookie is Green Day's best album. And I don't feel bad saying that. Dookie, in my opinion, is Green Day's only 10 out of 10 album. A rock album that just scratches every itch, satisfies my every request, and is generally an impeccable time. I know it's a hot take saying Dookie's a 10 out of 10, but come on guys, it's Dookie, the 90s pop punk masterpiece that spawned a whole new generation of rock music. Every track on this album is either solid or absolutely incredible. We have Burnout, Having a Blast, Chump, Longview, Welcome to Paradise, Pulling Teeth, Basket Case, She, Sassafras Roots, When I Come Around, and so many more. I am sort of biased when it comes to this album, as it was the first Green Day album I really got into and what later inspired my obsession with this band, and I wouldn't want it any other way. Dookie is just that right amount of punchy, well written and meaningful that it could very easily slip itself into a list of the best albums of all time. And yeah, no shade to the rest of these albums, well, maybe except Father of All, but you get what I mean. Dookie is an absolute treat from start to finish, an ethereal, well-balanced, well-composed pop-punk marvel that everyone should experience at least once in their life. And that's it. I can't believe I just did that. And I can't believe I just pissed off so many people in just half an hour. Well, anyway, I really enjoyed making this video, and I want to do more rankings like this in the future. It's just really fun for me to share my opinions in the rawest possible form in a video like this. And I also really enjoy hearing feedback from all of you. Yes, you there, behind the screen. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Plus, if you'd like to share your top 18s in the description, I'd love to see them. Even if you are a genuine fan of Father of All. Please, mate, keep it to yourself. Anyways, I'll be going now and doing some other stuff. Oh yeah, and one more thing, you're probably wondering if the short series will be coming back now that I've made this big video. No, it's not. I have no reason to make it now because I've already spent the past half hour talking to you about each of the albums I was going to rank to begin with, including the albums I wasn't even going to rank in the first place. Goodbye.